What's going on, everybody? I'm Steven, and this is Project Build Brothers. And today, we're going to do something a little different. I've never used a dual action sander, which is also known as commonly referred to as a DA. This one is a pneumatic sander made by a company called Michigan Industrial Tools. As you can tell, it's been well used. It spins pretty well, I think, but I'm sure it could use a little refresher. It looks like it was heavily used for a long time. I don't know, I imagine it was oiled well, probably in an industrial setting, but for me, I just want to make sure it's good. I want to clean it up, and so together we're going to tear it down, clean it up, oil everything, put it back together, and see if we can make it look close to new. So the reason for this is I tried sanding down the hood and some other parts with just a basic sander, as well as hand sanding with like a block, and that did not work. It wasn't the right tool for the job, and luckily I didn't do it too much, so I didn't damage anything. But this is, I bought some, sanding discs for it. I'm going to end up getting a buffing, like a cutting pad and all that kind of stuff, so I can do it after I paint it, because I'm sure I'm going to have some crazy imperfections in the paint, so I'm going to need to go over it and buff it up and hopefully fix it, because it is my first time painting and I'm sure I'm going to do 712 things wrong. I'm going to try my best, but this should help me out at the end. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to tear it down, get it going, and see what it looks like on the inside, see if it was well maintained, and see if we can make it a little bit better. So, I went to Lowe's, got some things. I got some thread tape. And the thread tape is for I don't know what this thing's called. It's the adapter. It says the NPT connection. Pretty much, when I bought this, I didn't realize it didn't have a way for me to connect my air compressor to it. I got a little nervous. I thought I had to buy some proprietary thing, but luckily, I'm pretty sure, I didn't really test this yet, but pretty sure this will go right in there. Yep, looks like it fits perfectly. So, I'm going to take this extra tape off. We'll clean it up first, and then we'll throw it together. I also got a new sanding pad for it. Now this is the part that you attach the sandpaper to. This one's pretty well worn, as you can see. Could use a new one. So we're going to tear it down, put the new stuff on, put some thread tape on, put the new this guy on, and see if we can make this look good. So let's see how it goes, and then if you want to do it, I picked this thing up for $20 on eBay. If this works out, these things are expensive. Even a cheap electric one from Harbor Freight, I think the most basic version they sell is like 40 bucks. And their better one, which is still electric, is like 60 or 70. And if you step into brands other than Harbor Freight, I mean, you easily spend $100, $200. So I don't know where this falls. This looks a little bit older. I can't really find much about it on the internet. But, I mean, it seems pretty sturdy, and it's held up for a while, so I would imagine this would be one of those ones that would fall into the $100, $200 range. And if I got it for $20 and put, $10 worth of stuff into it and made it like new, I call that a win. And if maybe you could use this information on something to do, you could check out eBay, buy another one for 20 or 25 bucks, and do the same thing and get yourself a good one. So follow along. I'm not going to fast pace too much unless it's something that takes forever. But I will explain every part that I do. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to do this slowly, and we're going to work it out together. So stick with me. So I'm just going to tear off any plastics I can take off without using tools first. And it does look like, I don't know if I'll be able to pull this handle off by hand. I may have to pry this off with a screwdriver or something. It looks like it's pretty stuck on by the gunk. And also, there's this giant bolt back here. I'm not really sure. Not really sure if I have to take that off or what. So let me go get some tools and I'll be right back. Alright, I almost forgot to mention I did get some air tool oil as well. obviously we'll need this to lubricate it. So let me get this junk out of the way. I got some random tools, a little screwdriver, 2 adjustables, one for the big nut, little nut. Got some pliers, 2 different types. So right off the bat, I think, I'm actually not sure what this, there's a kind of a screw here, and then it has a C-clip on the other side. I'm not really sure what that holds in. At first I would have thought it'd be this whole handle, but this appears to be solid. So I'm going to pull it out and see what happens. Hopefully I don't break something. So here we go. Alright, let's try this again. I got a little tiny screwdriver as well as a Phillips head. There's an actual Phillips head screw here. We're just going to hold down this nut, see if we can unscrew this and get this handle off here. Alright, we got the handle off. I'm going to put this screw back in here so I don't lose sight of what I'm actually taking apart here. Almost looks like I could take this rubber thing off here. I can take this off right now, but it's really easy to work with it able to pivot like this, so I'm going to leave that on. So I'd really like to get this handle off if I can. I'll try using this little tiny screwdriver and see if this will just slide off. Might just be, stuck on from the years of dirt and junk that got stuck in there. I don't know, or it may just not be meant to come off that easy. That I'm not sure of, so. Whew, that's hard. I got it to spin a couple times, but that's really stuck on there. At the end, this nut here is very big, and I don't know that this whole guy here is going to fit over it. This end is ballooned a little bit, and I think that's allowing it to. I'm going to try. This is going to be really hard to spin, I have a feeling, but let me give this a whirl and see if this is something that I can actually spin. I don't see myself breaking that. Alright, let's give this a shot then. We're going to try to get in there. I don't even know if this screwdriver's small enough. This is like some little tiny screwdriver that I think I just broke. Like some from a cell phone repair kit. If any of you guys have done that. I just found it because the C-clip doesn't give you much room to work. And I don't really have any small ones. I might have just got it though. There we go. C-clip out. Pull this screw out, this bolt. It's covered in oil, that's a good sign. Now, what did that hold? I have zero idea what the purpose of that was. I don't know what that was. In any event, we're going to continue on. There's another bolt. Or actually, this is a nut. This one came off really easy. I think this just holds this little, the piece that was holding the trigger on, which I think is what's going to allow us to get this off. We're going to give this a whirl now. This might uncover some more. Good feeling I'm going to get really oily doing this. It's fine. Every time I say that, I don't put on gloves and then I regret my decision. Alright. Now there are some, looks like Allen head. There's 4 of them going right here. And that will allow me to take this top part off, which I think is very important. So I'm going to go get a tool for that. I'm going to grab some gloves too. Alright, some gloves. Got my universal Allen. Alright, we're going to see if we can get this out of here now. I don't think I have this on too tight. I was messing with this earlier. I'll do that by hand. Alright. A little rust on this stuff. We'll clean that up then. See if we can guess and see how accurate we are with there. Oh, that was right. Okay. See if we can do this. So now we're going to take this cover off, which will likely uncover what is, how everything is. There is some surface rust on the outside. Ideally, I'd like to clean this whole thing up. We'll see. Not too hard to take these off. That's interesting. This one's very small. Yet the first 2 that I pulled were really long. Probably should have paid attention to where that came out of. I believe it was this one. And this one's really short. Alright. Need to get this guy off. I'm not really sure how to do that. Keep those together. Uncover this. There was a lock washer and a nut, I believe, on the back side of this. Let's see if that's correct. Yep. It's good to know. I did not really open it up that much. I really need to get this big. I don't know that I can take this apart anymore. This thing seems pretty solid in here. There's a gasket in there. Pretty much like a... I don't know if you guys can see in there, but this thing's pretty solid. I don't know. I think what I'll do, I'm going to clean it up with a wire brush, blow it out with some air. See if I can clean up this handle. I really would like to get this rubber off this. If I can't, then I'll clean it up while it's on here. Clean up everything on here. Re-oil the whole thing. And then put it all back together. See if we can get it working and looking good. I'm going to take this, try to take this gasket off without wrecking it. Do that nicely. I do not have another one of these, and I don't feel like trying to figure out what the heck it is. Alright, I did bring this with a new wire brush on the end of it. Judging by the size of this nut here, and then how thin this handle rubber is, I think I'm really going to have to stretch that to make it come out, and I don't think I should do that. So what I'm going to try is put it back in place, clean it up. So what I'm going to do is go over the whole thing with wire brush. If that doesn't clean it up, then I may hit it with sandpaper. Yep. So here we go. I may do a fast motion for this. Gonna go use some wax and tar remover, get rid of this gunk on here, see if this will help clean up this handle and the other rubber parts we have. I'm just using paper towel. Again, this is a tool, doesn't have to be perfect, but depending on what it looks like, I'm thinking about painting it, but let's just see what it looks like after we clean it up. Stuff's doing a pretty good job. Gonna take a little scrubbing, but I think it'll work. Some like oxidation on this side. I don't know if that's dirt or if that's gonna come off. process, we're going to go ahead and oil it. This says to put it in the air inlet, where the air goes in, which of course we just put our connector on. That wasn't smart. I should have done this beforehand. I'm going to try to take it out. If it'll come out, so I'll do that. I'll drop some in there after I get the rest of it together. That way I don't get oil pouring everywhere. So I'm going to put it all together, and then I'll pull that out, put some oil in, put it back together, and it should be good. Alright guys, we finished. I think it looks a lot better. I'm going to put a couple drops of oil in it. And then tomorrow we are going to do some sanding with it and see how it does. It says put it down in the air inlet. I put in a couple extra just because I did clean out some. So I figured it'll get it nice and lubricated. Sounds pretty smooth, I think. Anyway, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And we'll get on to the sanding of the hood, fender, and bumper, and then on to primering and painting. So this was step one in our painting process. Had to get the tools ready. Now we're all set. So now it's... Actually, you know what? There's one more thing we gotta do. We gotta prep the paint gun, but we will do that the day that we paint, so that's not a concern. This would definitely take a lot longer, so we're just gonna pull it apart, clean out the gunk that's in it, factory grease and stuff, and then yeah, just keep it clean and then run some paint through it as a test, and then you can go ahead and spray it. So make sure you follow along. We're getting to the big parts. And another upcoming video is I made a change in the plan of the build, and that change is I'm not going to be welding the radiator support in myself. I decided that because it's probably going to be pretty scrutinized in the inspection process, because that was one of the main parts that took the damage. I'm just going to have a professional come and do it. So I'm going to hire a professional company to come in, weld it. They're going to let me record it, so we'll do a nice before video. We'll have them come and do it, and then we'll document the whole process. So make sure you watch these videos, because it's about to ramp up really quick, and we'll be inspecting before you know it and taking it out on its first maiden voyage. So make sure you're sharing this along with your friends. Until next time, see you.